At a distance of 37 kilometers from a French city named Sentinel, there is a deserted lighthouse built over the deep waters of the Atlantic Ocean. A special thing is said about this lighthouse. Whoever guards it will be given an annual salary of $1.2 million, which amounts to 332 crores. However, despite this, no human has agreed to take this job since 1991, and the reason behind it will send chills down your spine. Thank you for your love and support. Usually, lighthouses are built in high places in the ocean or on rocks, so that their light can guide ships and boats in the ocean, helping them avoid crashing into the shore or rocky paths. Currently, there are over 18,000 lighthouses in the world, out of which around 4,000 are still fully active. Among them, there is one lighthouse that people are afraid to even talk about. This is the Lajem Lighthouse. Some people call it the Juman Lighthouse, or Joman Lighthouse, but both these names are incorrect. Le Jument is actually a French word that refers to a mare, female horse. From 1888 to 1904, 31 ships collided with these rocks and sank, causing the deaths of over 250 people. This tower was built for the very purpose of saving passing ships from these massive sharp rocks. You will be surprised to know that many people lost their lives during the construction of this tower. This lighthouse was started in 1904 and was completed in 1912. The 118 feet tall L tower took 8 years to build and used 500,000 granite stones and 1,000 tons of concrete in its construction. But what surprises everyone is that this lighthouse is always covered by sea waves, rains, and dense fog. The ocean waves here are so high and powerful that they engulf the entire lighthouse. When these waves, moving at a speed of 120 kilometers per hour, hit the lighthouse, its walls tremble violently. The 5th of December, 1991, this was a historic stormy day when 60-foot-high waves were crashing against the lighthouse. At that time, the lighthouse was being guarded by Pierre Goff, who was inside doing his duty and was terrified of the storm. Suddenly, he heard the sound of a helicopter outside. Thinking that someone had come to rescue him, he ran to the lighthouse door, but the helicopter belonged to John Goshet, a photographer who was capturing images of the ocean storm that day. As soon as Pierre Goff reached the door seeking help, a massive wave rose from behind the lighthouse and swept him away, resulting in his death. His body was never found in the ocean, but one photograph from that moment was captured by John Goshet from his helicopter. This photograph made the lighthouse extremely famous, along with certain stories that made it even more terrifying. Looking at this strange lighthouse, people often wonder, why was it necessary to build it, and why must its light always remain on? To understand its history, we need to go back in time. This was an era when there were neither roads nor vehicles for travel. The safest and most efficient way to travel long distances was by sea, but there was a major problem: ships would mysteriously disappear in the ocean. Sailors would set out on their journeys but never return. Since 71% of our world is covered by oceans, even if we were to gather all the land of the world in one place, including all 7 continents, the Pacific Ocean would still be larger. In ancient times, when sailors traveled across the ocean, they had no idea how far the next land was. Navigation was the biggest challenge of that era. There was no GPS system like today. To determine their direction, sailors had to observe the sun during the day and track the stars at night. They relied on a few navigation tools that provided some assistance in finding their way in the vast ocean. However, when a storm struck hundreds of kilometers away in the sea, ships would completely lose their direction, causing them to wander for months. Eventually, without finding land, these sailors would die of hunger and thirst in the ocean. One such tragic incident shook the world of seafarers. In 1857, a ship named Hanson Bay was traveling from London to Canada with 200 passengers. This ship carried valuable goods along with an ample supply of food. After a day's journey, as it approached the Azores Islands, it was struck by a massive ocean storm. The storm was so powerful that the ship lost control from the hands of its pilot and crew. Soon, it crashed into a sharp rock, causing more than half of the ship to shatter. Over 200 people on board lost their lives in this disaster. About 1,600 years before this incident, the world's first lighthouse was built near the Mediterranean Sea, in ancient Egypt. There was a city named Alexandria, where the biggest problem was its location. Look at this map carefully. To reach the shores of this city, ships and boats had to pass through dangerous waters, filled with sharp rocks and stones. At night, trading ships would collide with these rocky paths, causing water to flood into the ships, sinking them along with their cargo. To solve this problem, the king of Alexandria, King Ptolemy, summoned expert architects of that time. They designed a remarkable model that would not only help ships avoid rocks and dangerous paths, but also protect them from sea pirates. Additionally, this lighthouse would alert sailors about approaching storms. This was a 284-foot tall L tower made entirely of white marble, constructed on the island of Pharos near the shores of Alexandria. At the top of the tower, a massive fire would be lit at night, continuously supplied with oil and wood. This lighthouse is now considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, due to its exceptional design and historical significance. Following this, every kingdom in the world started building lighthouses. In the modern era, many ships are equipped with advanced navigation systems, which is why most lighthouses have become obsolete. Now, let's expose some myths about this lighthouse that have no connection to reality. First, let's discuss the claim of a $1.2 million annual salary. Is this true? Do the workers of this tower really get paid millions? After the death of Pierre Goff in 1991, this lighthouse was fully automated, meaning no human worker has been stationed there since. The lighthouse was directly connected to a satellite so that it could be controlled remotely. Even today, there are some lighthouses where workers are still employed. Their jobs are extremely dangerous, requiring months of training. An ordinary person cannot survive for even 4 hours in such conditions. A lighthouse keeper named Nomo Peters once shared his experience, saying that the first night in a lighthouse is terrifying. The fierce ocean waves crashing against the tower feel like someone is pushing the lighthouse, making it impossible to sleep. He also said, "I have never felt so alone in my life. The strong sea winds made me feel as if someone was there, watching me. And when I looked into the ocean, I could hear the sounds of women crying." Typically, lighthouse workers earn between $40,000 to $80,000 per year. But what's the real story behind this $1.2 million salary claim? Hearing this huge salary figure, over 50,000 people applied for this job. But the truth is different. When this tower was built, the total construction cost was €100,000, which is equivalent to 229 crores in today's value. Now ask yourself, how can a lighthouse that costs 229 crores to build offer an annual salary of 332 crores? The answer is simple. This was all a hoax created by a fake website where people submitted applications for the job. There are many mysteries in this world that have been solved, but there is still one unsolved mystery, the Great Pyramid of Giza. What was the true purpose of building these pyramids? And when a team of researchers sent a robotic camera inside, what did they find that had remained hidden for 4,500 years?